Here is the 4,000 character version, complete story, strong hook, proper ending in one response. The moment my mother-in-law screamed at me to leave the car behind, I understood something in our family had broken beyond repair. In the rearview mirror, I watched her chase my Porsche down the driveway in white sandals, one hand raised as though she still had the authority to stop me. My 3-year-old son Lucas sat silently behind me, clutching his little red toy truck, too young to understand what had just happened, but old enough to feel the tension in the car. 20 minutes earlier, our backyard had been full of laughter, celebrating my father-in-law Walter's retirement. I had spent 2 exhausting days preparing that cookout between my job and an Army Reserve training weekend. At first, Vivian's comments seemed small enough to ignore. She praised my husband Ethan for giving the family such a beautiful home, then told his aunt my military service was just a hobby that kept me from my real duties. When I carried out a bowl of potato salad, she looked at my dress and asked in front of everyone whether Ethan had paid for that too. Nobody said a word in my defense. Ethan stood at the grill pretending to be busy, avoiding my eyes. Then Vivian crouched beside Lucas, smoothing his hair, and told him loudly that one day he'd understand his father was the one who kept a roof over his head. That was the moment I refused to stay quiet any longer. I asked her calmly not to say something untrue in front of my son. The yard went silent. Instead of standing beside me, Ethan demanded I apologize to his mother or pack my things and leave. My son heard every word. I chose to leave. I drove to a hotel, texted Ethan our location, and offered a video call, refusing to hide his son from him. He didn't respond that night. The next morning, my attorney Rachel called him, and for the first time in 5 years of marriage, Ethan heard the truth without anyone protecting his pride. Both the house and the Porsche belonged to me alone, inherited from my grandmother June, who raised me after my own mother struggled with addiction. Every dollar traced back to my name only, purchased years before I even met Ethan. Piece by piece, Ethan admitted the rest. Tired of being compared to his successful older brother, he had told his family he'd bought our house, and later claimed the Porsche was his anniversary gift to me. He'd even promised his struggling parents a room in our guest suite without asking me. Worse, 16 months of bank records revealed nearly $12,000 quietly transferred from our joint savings to his parents, money I never approved of, because as he admitted flatly, he already knew what my answer would have been. I didn't explode. I moved my paychecks to a new account, kept careful records, and proposed a fair, documented parenting schedule so Lucas's routine stayed stable. Ethan moved into a small apartment near Lucas's preschool. Vivian told relatives I was destroying her son with lawyers and money. I never fired back publicly. Public humiliation had built this mess, and I wouldn't use the same weapon and call it justice. Walter, sensing the story didn't add up, asked for one honest family meeting. In a plain counselor's office, with the deed and title sitting closed on the table, I told Ethan this truth was his to tell, not mine. And for once, he told all of it: the house, the car, the guest suite promise, the missing money. Vivian's face changed as she realized she'd humiliated me over things that were never her son's. Her first apology was weak, an excuse dressed as regret. I told her plainly that a real apology names what you did. It doesn't question how I heard it. I didn't take Ethan back that day. Confession alone doesn't rebuild trust. He signed a documented repayment plan, began individual counseling, and slowly, through small, consistent actions, started proving real change. When Vivian showed up uninvited, demanding to see her grandson, Ethan stepped between us and told her she didn't enter my home without an invitation. That night, for the first time, Vivian left me a voicemail with no excuses, just honest accountability. 90 days of counseling followed, where Ethan admitted he'd spent his life protecting his mother's approval at my expense, and I admitted my own silence had quietly taught him disrespect was survivable. We agreed on a slow reconciliation, dinners twice a week, continued therapy, no empty promises. At Lucas's 4th birthday, when Ethan's sister mocked our so-called property war, Ethan didn't stay silent this time. In front of relatives who'd once admired his lie, he corrected it himself, plainly, without hesitation. That single moment mattered more to me than every apology before it. We built our way back carefully, a post-nuptial agreement protecting what was mine and Lucas's future. Transparent finances, independent lawyers, no shortcuts. 3 months later, Ethan came home for good, not through grand gestures, but through daily honesty. 1 year after that painful cookout, we gathered in the same backyard again. No speeches, no hidden resentment. Just grilled chicken and my son's laughter. Vivian waited quietly at the gate until I invited her in. Ethan never once called the house his or mine or even ours. He simply said he was grateful to be home, and this time that word finally meant responsibility, not ownership. My son didn't grow up learning that the loudest voice wins a family. He learned instead that real love means telling the truth, respecting boundaries, and earning your way back after you've broken someone's trust.